So when you look at the uh, the makeup of mythology, and you look at the archetypes and the way that they explain it, and if you look at our language in English, we English the English language has no mythology. And if you look at language, Dr. York talks about the importance of language, and not just Dr. York. A lot of people have talked about the importance of language, and because the tongue you speak, it has an energy to it. I might say fuck in English, but there's probably a whole nother word for it, or ain't no probably there's a whole nother word for it in other languages. But you have to admit that fuck hits a little bit more offensively than sex does. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it would be in another language. But they're the same thing, but they have different energies to them. Even like in French, hi is salut or salut. Hell, in Spanish, salud means cheers, like when you're toasting. So it's important to look at the frequency that the language drives, because that was not taken into account enough when the Bible was was translated so many times. What we did was we took the Hebrew language, which already had a science, not a religion, a science that was connected to it, and that is Kabbalah, or whatever you want to call it. But they had a way of understanding the world in a holistic way. It included the stars, the earth. It includes colors. It includes music. It includes music tones. It includes numbers. It includes all of that to holistically, to where when if you understand Hebrew, it makes the most sense for you to understand Kabbalah, to really understand what's going on in the universe. But we took a Hebrew science, an African science, and tried to translate that science word for word in English. But that science was specifically made within the parameters of that language. So that's why you look at us and you look, okay, why did the ancients have a certain type of knowledge that we didn't? It's because, now get this, our language didn't match up with that science. But now the English language has something to offer in that area. And it's called quantum physics. I'm reading a book. It's called Stalking the Wild Pendulum by Ishak Bentov, whatever. It's the back. My boy Malik put me on the book. But this book does a real good job of going into elementary physics and explaining that in the first four chapters, and really relating that to these higher quantum physics concepts like string theory and blah blah blah. You'll read this, and I read this, and I developed a higher understanding of spirituality. And it hit me that quantum physics, the study of it didn't start until like 1911 or 1900 or something like that. Like real quantum physics when they started trying to go past elementary physics. Quantum physics has finally caught up. That is the English language's science. 100%, 1000%. There's no difference in the truth that's presented in quantum physics, Christianity, Judaism, the shit that they was on in Egypt, all of these different Ephi, all of these different languages that already have systems that allow them to understand the cosmos and the earth and the relationship between. You know what I'm saying? We finally have that here. Now, I'm not saying that now please understand and highlight in your mind that quantum physics isn't any better. It's not explaining anything any better, but I guarantee you, go back and watch and listen to quantum physics. Or watch videos, listen, read quantum physics, brush up on that, and then go and then relate it back to your mythology. And you'll start to notice that, like, oh, there's only certain shit don't hit like this. This allowed that shit right there, the quantum physics shit, is gonna allow you to bring home and fill in that empty piece that your language had taken from this ancient science. Because this is a bastardized, coded language. It's a very occult language. English is mostly old like Icelandic, Nordic, Germanic. It's got a Latin alphabet, but most of its sounds, most of its words are actually derived either directly from French or from the Norse, the old Norse shit. And, you know, throughout the times when they kept purposely updating and coding this language, they added more and more languages from around the world to try to make this language more robust, more healthy. I'm going to tell you this right now. Speaking this language brings down the frequency of when you're talking about an African language. This is why you can't do Haitian voodoo if you don't know Haitian Creole. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, learn an ancient language. Learn to understand an ancient language. Learn to understand that the most ancient language is telepathy. Anything after that is lesser there. Anything after that was something that we had to produce to communicate to something that was lower. Think about if you didn't have to talk and you never had to speak, and you could communicate and get everything done without speaking with your mouth. The only reason you would ever have to go and develop words in the first place is because there's a new species or a new type of man or a new type of being that's not intelligent enough to do that. So we got to understand anything that's driven by language, period, is already something. I wouldn't say lower because it's higher compared to here. But you got to know that there's higher shit than that because language is finite. It's finite. Whatever system you got is a finite amount of letters. Now you can create other letters and other sounds and all of that, but what's the point? Because none of it 100% relays the concept, no matter how many times that I try to form and place and put words here and put emphasis here and say this, you're not going to fully understand the feeling and the thought that I'm transmitting from my inner being to you through these finite words. It's just not going to happen. So with that being said, please understand that quantum physics is your way out if you're going to be speaking the English language. Point blank, period. So get that book, get another, whichever one, and really understand how you can really complete the picture with this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna keep rambling, but I wanted to point that out because it's very, very important, and it will change your life. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, y'all do me a favor. Y'all like, subscribe, share, do all of that, comment, do all of that. I did I turn off my comments? I don't think I did yet. But anyway, comment, do whatever, man. Y'all be easy. Love yourself, man. Love yourself. When you do that, the universe will love you back. I promise you. So, y'all be easy. Y'all be blessed, man.